Hi everyone, this is Niami Denmother of EQ2.EQTraders.com. I had a request to show off the new Vah Shir race that is coming with EverQuest II, with the Reign of Shadows expansion that is coming out later this year or the beginning of next year. We don't have a release date yet. But anyway, people have asked if I could show off the character customization for this new race. So I decided I'd do a quick down and dirty little video while I'm testing out my new headset here to show you some of the character creation options for them. First, we're working with a female Vah Shir with class of Warden, just because that's what I picked, so I will do that for both. First, the eyes, they can tilt up, they can tilt down. They don't down that far, but the up is a rather solid upward swing, so there's the option for that. Eye color can be a bit subtle. The blue is good, the red is good, or the purplish red is good, but there's still a white to the center. So in the lighter colors it does look very white altogether, even though that is very pale yellow. So you'll get varying mileage depending on which color eye you choose. Head can be small or it can be large, or sorry, ears. I mean the head option. So you've got the large ears, you've got the smaller ears that are set a little closer to the head as well. You can make them low on the head, you can make them high on the head, so there you have large ears that's high, small ears that are low. And you can tell a lot with a cat's ears, so you can do all sorts of attitude things based on how you set up your ears there. Eyebrow, you have up and down. You can have them angle up and angle down, which is a little more subtle. Let me turn the face so it is facing and see if that helps you see it a little better. She's just going to swing her head all over the place and make it a little harder. But you can angle it up, down. The cheeks, you can have the very thin cheeks, you can have fuller cheeks. Again, some of these are rather subtle, you have to watch carefully for it. Low cheeks, high cheeks. Chin can be wide or it can be narrow. It can be long or it can be short. And it can be thin or it can be thick. So let's do thick, long, and wide. Gives her a very different look than if you do narrow, short, and thin. Excuse me. Lips, thin and full. Ooh, excuse me again. Goodness. Wide, narrow. The width and the narrowness are pretty subtle as well. And then you have your nose. You can tilt the nose up, you can tilt it down. And that one's rather noticeable. You have a skinny nose, you can have a wide nose. Again, that's rather noticeable as well. You have a short nose, long nose. Then you go to the fur. The fur patterns are solid, which, as you see, there's always this paler part in the center of the face. So you have to kind of look at it from the side in order to get the differentiation here. Lunar point, which has them masked. A mow, which is just a nice little striping. A Luckland tabby. It's much darker striping. And then the Bengal. The Bengal is fainter again. Let's leave it on the mow and do the fur color. So here's your green fur color. Then you have your various reddish browns going into the browns. Then you can have a rather pinkish rose tint. Let's see if we can get that. That's kind of purplish. but it's a grayish purple. You can't get a really dark purple or anything like that, but you get some variation there. Then you have your mane, which you can have bald. The Untamed Huntress. The Debutante's Mane. The Matron's Knot. The Dancer's Braids. And the Braided Tail. I'm going to leave it on the Dancer's Braids. And then we get our mane color. And again, we can go with the green mane, slightly purplish, a rosy orange, goldens into browns, and then the redder and orange, more orange ones, and then the darker brown. Then there's the tail options. You have a tiger tail, a lion tail, a ragamuffin tail, and the Angora, which is a little poofy. Let's go with the ragamuffin and then change the tail color. And it's the same coloring choices that you had for fur, so you can have it match her fur, or you can have it be totally different if you so desire. It is independent of the fur color. And then your body, you have larger and smaller, so you can do the tall or the short. So that's the females. Let's go back through and go back to the good and select male. And yes, the Vah Shir are only male. Excuse me. I'm not even going to try to stop this and restart it. The Vah Shir are only good. Whether you pick male or female does not matter. They are good and only good. So he's got the eyes that go up and down. It looks kind of sad and solemn, so we'll have to try to fix that as we go along. He's got a thicker face, a longer muzzle to him than the females, or so it looks. The eye colors. Again, some of these are pretty subtle because you've got that white in the center. But that's like the darkest blue you can go. The reds don't show up well because the pupil is such a white, but the green shows up well, the blue shows up relatively well. With the head, the ears, the small ears, the bigger ears, low and high. So again, he can get those great big ears. Your brow, up and down. Angling down, angling up. The angle up makes him look a little angrier, the angle down makes him look sadder. So there's all sorts of variations you can do with that. The cheeks, thin, full, low and high. The chin, wide and narrow. The narrow looks better on this one. Short and long chin. Thick and thin. So there's a thick chin, there's a thin chin. Lips, thin and full. Narrow and wide. The nose. Tilt up, tilt down. I'm going to leave his up. It's a wide nose. There's a skinny nose. The skinny nose still isn't all that skinny, but short nose, long nose. That one's kind of subtle. Let's turn him sideways so you can see that a little. There's your long nose. And short nose. It's very, very subtle unless you're looking pretty closely at him. His fur patterns, he's got the solid, the lunar point, the mow, and his mow has a lot more patterning to it than the female mow. The Lachlan tabby and the Bengal. Let's put it on the tabby and play with his fur color. There's your green, your dark rose, gold, and then into the reds and browns. It doesn't get a lot of distinction in there. Oh, there, you can swirl it around the color wheel. Let's make him green, just because. In his mane, he can be bald. He can have the master's knot, little man bun there, the brushed bow, the warrior's crown, the braided tail, and the recruit's crop. Let's do the brushed bow. He can also have a beard. Rawr. The elder is pretty much no beard at all. The king, nice long beard. Philosopher is a shorter one. Beard 03 has not got a name yet, but there it is. Then there's the hunter, which is a little bushier, and then the seafarer, which is shorter. Let's leave him as a philosopher, just because. And the mane color can be different than the fur color too, so I can do him all sorts of weirdness here with changing it around. So let's do that one, just because I want to stand out a little. Then for tails, again we have the tiger, the lion, the ragamuffin, and the angora. And then you can change the color. So there's a green. Let's just swing through the wheel here a little. And we're going to leave him like that. Let's change the tail to the lion. There we go. And body, he's got the smaller and the larger. Let's do him about medium. Let's start him in New Hollis. I just want to show you one last thing with him. And let it pick a random name because I'm not keeping this one. And this is over on the beta server, so I may all of a sudden just level up massively quickly here. I don't know how it's coded, but somebody said it. Yep, there we go. Clang. We'll just kind of ignore all of this. Close it out. Come on. Let's get him out here for a moment, so he's a little more visible. And that is their dance. There is a rumor, whether it will happen or not, that this may be turned into a /cat dance and let all races do it. But for now, it's just the Vah Shir that do this dance. So there he is. He's having a grand old time with his fancy little dance. That's it for the Vah Shir preview. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I will go back to beta now.